town is 54% Hispanic. You're Peruvian. When you talk to your neighbors, what are you hearing?
More Latino voters, Indian voters. They're moving more into the right, more into Donald Trump.
2 years ago, everybody hated him. Now, majority are like, no, I'm voting for Trump.
Really?
Yes, really.
I was a Democrat, and I started to realize the policies that I was voting in wasn't my standards or what I believed.
The Republican Party has the values that we hold dear. That is God, family, life.
You'll be surprised. I used to do registration, and a lot of people change party to go to the Republican Party instead of the Democrat.
I'm a registered Democrat. I was on the fence, but I was going to vote for Trump. Current moment right now, the way everything is going, I still need to see what's on the table.
Who are you voting for this year?
President Donald Trump.
You're more open to voting for someone other than the Democrat ticket this time than last time?
There's a possibility.
I've seen a lot of people leaning towards Trump right now.
Even people who were Biden before?
Even people that was Biden, you know.
I'm hoping that President Trump wins again.
So were the tips higher when Trump was in office?
Of course. We got to get Trump in office.
Think that'll fix the problem?
I know it will.
This town.
Gotta get that orange fella back ASAP. But I want to show you guys this clip, well, these clips that I came across featuring Alex Wagner, who works for MSNBC. But she went and talked to some black voters, and boy, was she stunned into silence. And I love to see it. I love to see it. So this first clip, they were talking about Obama, and you guys remember how Obama came out and tried to scold us black men because we aren't supporting Kamala. Well, this gentleman, I think he laid it out perfectly with his statement. With that being said, let's dive in.
And I just wonder for anybody who heard that, like what they thought of that.
I was deeply offended. And it felt like a moment where it's like, you N-words better get in line and do what we say. And it felt like him as the czar of the Democratic Party coming down to say, go get these N-words in line. And the general tone of it was disgusting. It was abhorrent. I don't respect it. I didn't like nothing about it. And Kamala, 2 days after that, is like, we love our black men. We have programs and things that we're rolling out for them, and she rolled out policy.
Good cop, bad cop. You know, because
I'm tired of the good cop, bad cop.
Nah, but he I feel like he is right though. You know, it almost felt as it felt like make sure you get them back onto the plantation. And Obama was like, yes, massa. I will get them back on the plantation. Yes, massa. And he came out and tried to scold us black men. Come on back, fellas. Come on back. Masters are waiting. And it's like, wait, what? We ain't going back. You can take your stupid ass back, but we ain't going back. We gone. We out of here. Right? You know, Harriet, where you at? Don't leave it behind. We coming, right? We up out of here. Why would we turn around? Why would we turn around? And so he went to, oh, well, she's black and she knows you guys, right? She knows you. What? She don't know me. She darn sure don't know me if she's allegedly cooking greens in a bathtub. Because if you know me, you know for darn sure. I'm trying to keep it PG. Ain't no cooking no food in no bathtub. Food does not belong in no bathroom. That's where you wash your behind and you empty your behind, okay? If you know what I mean. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it PG. That's not where you take food to be prepared to eat. Absolutely not. That is disgusting. You will get ran out of the house doing some mess like that around my family. No, that's disgusting. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But another part of the interview, they were talking about mass deportation. And check out what some of these brothers had to say.
I agree with the idea of mass deportation, largely. You have criminals in this country who are destroying our nation. They're coming in here, getting earmarked bills and policies to open up businesses, get free housing, get easier access than those who are legally immigrated to this country to welfare and other benefits. So, like, as a taxpayer, we have to pay for these guys to have luxuries of life, and we don't get anything, especially black Americans who suffer so much in the system under Democrats. We don't get anything. That's insane. You talk about Springfield, Ohio, and the whole thing with the fluff talk of, grabbing a soundbite about Haitians or whatever is eating cats and dogs. Y'all trying to change the narrative of what he's really talking about. Change the narrative of really what we're talking about. And telling us that's what we should be discussing. No, this is what we're discussing. This is America. And this is what America is about and what we're discussing.
I love what he said there. You know, how mainstream media and people like Alex Wagner and, you know, her co-host, right? Golly, why am I drawing a blank on the word? Her fellow co-workers. Goodness gracious. Woo! That one just completely left my mind. I could not think of the word co-workers to save my life. But, you know, her fellow co-workers, they tried to change the narrative to some meaningless talking point when we're keeping the narrative on things that actually matter, but they want to focus on, well, Trump said Haitians are eating cats and dogs. First off, I don't even believe he said Haitians. He said they're eating the cats and the dogs. Democrats added in the Haitians part. As a matter of fact, I might make a short on that. Yeah, I like that idea. I might turn that into a short because people like that's something that people skipped over. If I remember correctly, Trump never said Haitians. Trump just said they're eating the cats and the dogs, and it was the Democrats. The Democrats added in the Haitians part. Trump never said that. Trump never specified who he was talking about. He just said they're eating the cats and the dogs. But anyway, I digress. I'll probably make that into a YouTube short. So make sure you're watching my YouTube shorts, baby. Come on, tune in. But they try to change it to a meaningless talking point about Haitians and cats and dogs when we're talking about the food that we're able to put on our table or not put on our table, the gas prices that are just absolutely through the roof, the crime that's through the roof, even though you keep trying to tell us that it's not, right? We walk the streets of our own cities. We see what's happening, okay? All of these other things that actually matter, you want to focus on, well, Trump said this about Haitians. And like, what? But that is because Democrats can't win on actual, meaningful topics of discussion. Democrat policies don't stand up to scrutiny. That's one of the things that I've learned throughout this journey. Whenever you start actually pushing back on Democrat policies, it absolutely falls apart. That's why I came up with the line when I used to say, when the facts come out, they run. It happens every single time. When the facts start coming out, the Democrats run because their policies don't stand up to scrutiny. I mean, time and time again, we've seen it 1,001 times. 1,001 times. Every single time. And that's why they do stuff like that, change the subject, because they know that. So we're going to talk about something else, because, yeah. But also, this was another part of the interview with the black folks. Why Trump?
I believe Trump is going to win because, first off, when people say bad things about him, where does that affect us down here? That doesn't affect our neighborhoods. It has never affected our neighborhoods. We don't even get to see half the things that go on that level.
We know that he's going to win because he is the best for America. He's worried about our economy.
The crime is high. Yeah. The violence is high. The schools are bad. Yeah. We can go on and on. Where Democrats have been in charge for 40 years.
We're voting for Donald Trump unequivocally. Period. No one else is going to persuade us. We 2 weeks out, and we won't sleep until November the 6th.
So you know who you're voting for?
Yes, I'm voting for Trump, definitely.
Tell me why.
He's more strong-minded in a way. He's focused on what we got to focus on. Like, he doesn't play. That's what I respect about him.
He doesn't play?
Yeah, he doesn't play. He always just stands for what he believes, and he doesn't go back. No matter how many people are bashing him, no matter people is criticizing him, nothing.
He doesn't take BS. He's not going to hear it. He's a businessman. He's not there for the fluff talk of politics. We need someone strong. We need someone who's going to get down to business and take care of what this country needs.
but also understands what the community needs.
The thing is, we were scared in the beginning because he said he's going to nuke Korea and he's going to nuke Iran, but he didn't do that. He didn't do that. The stock market went up. There were more.
Pretty high right now too.
Well, but the thing is, there was really, because there was no inflation back then. Democrats take granted, especially minorities. They take for granted because they think Republicans are so out of touch with the minorities' needs, so they don't have any choice. And I think that's going to be a big surprise.
You got pockets that there's an energy for Mr. Trump in the city, but a lot of people just walking down the street, they not feeling the Democrats from time to time, not sure if they're going to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
They may not vote at all. The black men that don't vote for Democrats, it's not what Mr. Trump did, is what have you been disappointed with. I'm not a dedicated Republican. I'm voting for the lesser two evils this time, being Mr. Donald Trump.
I just think it's funny how that whole narrative of lesser of two evils, how Democrats tried to use that against Trump, but now it's come back full circle, and it's like, nah, the lesser of two evils is actually Trump. Oh, man, I love it. Just like, what was that, last week? I think it was last week, where the guy went on to MSNBC. I think it was MSNBC, and basically called Kamala supporters house N-words. And the guy on MSNBC just had a complete meltdown when people like him call folks like me house N-words all the time. Like, I got the DMs to prove it, right? Because we support Trump. So watching it get flipped and then a black Democrat lose their mind was just absolutely hilarious. Now, this is another part of the interview where they were asked about Kamala, and listen to what they had to say. Check it out.
What are your feelings, and let me start with the women here, about Kamala Harris?
She's a woman of color. I'm not putting her down because of that, and I'm not putting her down because she's a woman. I'm not a feminist, so I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I don't think that she has the personality. I don't think that she has what it takes to go up against Putin and go up against these other presidents that are built for this. I don't want to be scared because my president is scared. I want my president to feel secure and manly and about it.
We brought up gender, right? Like, do you think it matters that she's a woman and people aren't comfortable having a woman in a top leadership role?
No, I don't think that, because most men, they love their mothers. They love their wives. So as a woman, most men, they respect the woman, but she just don't have the qualification or the education to really run America because she don't have the experience. She don't understand our struggles. And for me to believe you for another 4 years, you're crazy. Right. Like, you're crazy. You're saying the same thing that you said 4 years ago.
So the fact that she's the vice president,
that's
to
just
you
the
is
bottom line.
You're like, you've been here, you've had a chance.
Yes. Well, for me, the very first time I ever heard the name Kamala Harris, it was in association to locking up parents for truancy. That was the first time I ever heard of her name. And I really didn't understand how this person claims to be a black woman, but yet she's locking up black women and black men and separating families.
This is a thing that is, Trump talks about this a lot. He says, Kamala Harris became black when it was convenient.
Right.
Yeah. Can you talk to me about, do you agree with him on that? Do you feel like she's wearing her blackness?
Absolutely. when she sworn into the Senate, it was as the first Indian American.
Thank you.
It's fine. We don't care.
We all know she's not black. Let's understand that. We are all clear of that. But my point of view, and like I told you earlier, she's already been there. She's in office right now.
It's a great point. And I made a video on that a while back, how, before it mattered, right? Kamala was representing being Indian, which, like they said, that's completely fine. Like, I've got nothing against Indians. Zero. Right? But if that's what you represent, if that's what you claim to be, then claim that. Own that. Stand on it. Like, don't all of a sudden just try to flip now. Oh, no, I'm black. Like, nah, get out of here. Get out of here. I went to a HBCU. Okay, and white people can go to a HBCU. What's that mean? Like, anybody can go to a HBCU. Like, just because you went there doesn't mean that you're black all of a sudden. Like, stop it with the nonsense. Stop it. In like this whole pandering thing. It's just like, come on, bro. Come on, stop it with the nonsense. But actually, I want to show y'all this clip first before we get into the whole pandering thing, because listen, I think there is a good shot that 25% of black people to 30% of black people could vote for Uncle Trump this time around. It's a real thing.
I think there's something there we all stupid.
We recognize what Kamala Harris is doing right now.
Black men aren't a monolith. We vote based on policies too. We don't based on identity. And when she starts to realize that and not trying to play our identity up so much, she might do better.
I feel like she coming back on some, here I am now. Where was you 4 years ago, 3 years ago? You wasn't around.
I don't think black men can relate to Kamala in any way. Trump's a businessman. A lot of black men want to be entrepreneurs. They can relate to Trump in the way they want to make money, they want to have a business, and Trump is really supporting business owners and just the everyday American. I don't see Kamala doing that.
We tired of everything that's going on in the last 4 years. As a black woman, I thought you was gonna be like, hey, I got the black man because he gonna help the black family. But you ain't done none of that.
Ain't done none of that. But also, there was another great point that was brought up there, and that's the fact that she's already in office. She's currently in office. As we speak, she is the sitting vice president of the United States of America. She is the number 2 in command of this entire country. And I would argue that she's actually the number 1, because we know Joe Biden ain't running the show. We saw that. Okay. So some could say that she's the one actually running the country now. So all of these things that she's talking about, she could do now. Why not do them now? Listen, I guarantee you, if she started doing or creating all of these great things that she's talking about, if she started doing it now, she'd probably win. But the fact that she isn't doing it now lets you know that she has zero intention on actually doing it. She could at least get the ball rolling on some of this stuff. She definitely could. Now, could she accomplish everything right now? No, of course not. But she could get the ball rolling on just about everything. Everything, right? If anything, she could have Joe Biden sign some executive orders to do some things, right? And if he doesn't want to sign them, then she can go out into the press, into the media, that's always friendly to Democrats, and say, hey, I went to Joe Biden in a private conversation, and I asked him to do X, Y, and Z, because that's what I want to implement. That's what I would love to implement. I think it would help Americans, right? And he told me no. And this is why I believe he said no. And I hate the fact that he did, she could go out into mainstream media and just put him on Front Street if he didn't want to do it. So her being the vice is not a cop-out, right? It's not an excuse to not at least or at minimum get the ball rolling on some of the things that you want to do in your presidential term, right? But anyway, one thing that I think Trump does have amongst the many things, but one thing that I think a lot of people do like about him is the fact that he doesn't pander like Democrats try to do, or like Kamala does.
It was such an honor to work for you at the White House all 4 years, and I got a front row seat of how much you cared about the Latino community, and you delivered results, and you didn't pander to us. You gave us opportunity, and that's what we want. We want the American dream. My mother was born in Mexico. My dad was born in Brooklyn with very humble means, and they worked very hard and achieved the American dream. So that's how what other country could a little girl from East LA make it to the White House to work for President Trump?
Yeah, he doesn't pander, right? He tells it like it is. If you like it, cool. If you don't, well, so be it, right? He's not gonna be, I'm sorry. I've got an agenda just for black men. I just put this together because I see that you guys are angry. Here's an agenda for black men, right? It's completely unconstitutional, but here's an agenda just for black men. Like, what? in the fourth quarter, a minute left to go on the clock. Now you want to try to pull up some BS like that? Like, come on, man. It's not genuine. It's not genuine at all. And I think people, by and large, are seeing through the smoke screen this time around, and it is beautiful to see. But as always, thanks for tuning in. Y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this in the comment section below. Peace and love. I'm out.